Coming up here, Circle the Debate Podcast, episode number 48, as we go ahead and recap this past week's AEW Dynamite. This is a go-home week because next week is a whole bunch of WWE content, WrestleMania. But today we're covering AEW Dynamite and giving our recap of our thoughts about it. Also, as well, just three updated cards for the NXT Takeover, Stand and Deliver, and for WWE 2 announcement. So we'll discuss it right now. So as episode 48 starts right now. Welcome, everyone, to the Circle of Debate Podcast, episode 48, 48. Jeez, wow, we're 48 episodes in. Wow, we're almost in that 50 pretty soon.
That's not counting top fives and interviews and collaborations. That's just on the details, man.
Man, yes, like over 170 videos, probably like over that maybe, I believe so. I lost count.
I don't know that we have not yet celebrated our 1 year anniversary, and I've only been with guys for like 6 months.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
that amount of content in less than a year is pretty insane. The quarantine, if anyone's bored during quarantine, start a podcast.
That's right. The devious one Ivan C here with my brother from another mother. He is El Director, the one and only. It tells you, make sure that you're right there. But yeah, that's right. The one and only CK1, Chris Kennedy, ladies and gentlemen. Money Mike will not be joining us today because he's out of town. He is in San Francisco, enjoying the weekend. Mr. MGC, he'll be joining us shortly, probably within the next few minutes, probably so. He's running a little delay, but he'll be on shortly. But yes, before we actually begin recapping AEW's Dynamite, I just want to go ahead and thank everyone who enjoyed this past week. The League of Extraordinary Podcast as Mania Week. We had a phenomenal time, a great two-part show, great questionnaire. I want to thank, of course, James from that 90s Wrestling Podcast did an incredible job with that questionnaire. We had a lot of fun. I don't know if you had a lot of fun, Mr. Kennedy, but I had a lot of fun.
James came out with over 40. I mean, there's 36 WrestleManias, and he came up with like 2 questions for each WrestleMania. Which, I mean, I think only the crew that we had on board could have answered those questions, and we got a lot of those right. I even surprised myself a few times.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And also want to go ahead and thank everyone. Shout out to the League of Extraordinary Podcast, to my boys, of course, as Kofi Wheatston and Brother Bo from the Dirty Hills Podcast. Also, my other paisano, mi hermano, George Mackay from Straight Talk Wrestling. And here we go, Frank, Jeremy, and Kyle from Jofo and the Ring Podcast. And also, of course, Mr. James Bond, Jonah, Rewind, Recap, Relive. Also want to go ahead and turn your head to the Titantron, as Anthony from the Titantron, of course. And also, my other good friend who, he said he doesn't look young. He has peppers, salt and pepper all over him. That's Tyler from The Counted Out, Mike and Tyler. And also our other good brothers, Tyrone and Jay from Good Friends, Better Enemies Podcast. Also would like to thank as well Chad from the Turnbuckle Tavern Podcast as well. CJ Styles from Side Note Suplex.
Side Note is the shit. I love everybody, but I just started conversing with Side Note, directly, and it's just one guy. He's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. He is awesome as hell. And then also wanted to thank also for the introduction that we did I want to go ahead and thank Fernando from Half K Podcast. Thank you so much for that introduction, man. We couldn't have done it without you. Thank you so much for that 8-bit. Everybody loved it. Great arcade retros, old school style. I love it, man. That's incredible editing, definitely. And it's just, wow, I'm just amazed of it. But yes, I want to go ahead and thank everyone for tuning in and also who's joining us. Hopefully we could do another one. And, never know. You never know. It might be bigger than that. So because shout out to Clark Street, of course, to Hafiz and Devin. Much love to my brothers right there. Hopefully we get them on too as well. All right. Now let's jump on to AEW Dynamite this past week. A lot of our, questions has been answered, but there's now more.
Yeah.
So it's like, what the fuck?
Oh my god, I love. Yeah, just
right.
It could be a fun episode.
It's gonna be fun, man, because a lot of our questions were answered, and a lot of our predictions came in fruition, but not all of them. But it's just crazy though. But
you nailed one. You nailed one almost.
Yeah. Almost to the T, but I that was so close. But first, let's go ahead. Let's start off with the opening match. Of course, he hasn't been in the ring for over 7 years, and he made his debut in AEW as Christian Cage, my peeps, as he made his in-ring return for the first time in over 7 years versus Frankie Kazarian from SCU. So I'm gonna go, Mr. Director, your thoughts about it, Mr. Cage's in-ring performance. What were your thoughts about the match? How do you feel about
it? Christian Cage, I'm going to call him Christian for short because there's no confusing him with anyone else. And if I call him Cage, well, there's like 25 other Cages. He looked great for his first match back. He looked better than great. That being said, I want to give a lot of credit to Kaz for helping him look that great. Kaz did a lot of the work in that match. Kaz, I don't want to say carried Christian, obviously, because they are both efficient workers. But it was Kaz's offense for however long that match was. Let's say the match was 11 minutes. Kaz was on the offense for 8 of that 11 minutes. And he helped Christian look good. It was a lot of near falls for Cage. For Frankie Kazarian. And then Christian coming back. I think he went for the unprettier a little too many times, but that might have been the story of the match. He went for it about two or three times before he actually hit it.
Yeah.
But he did hit it for a clean win. But it was basically Christian getting his ass beat for the entirety of the match and then coming back at the end and getting the victory. They both looked really good. It was a good, I guess you want to say, tune-up match. But they've wrestled so many times before. They just flowed. It was definitely not a pay-per-view 3-star, but it was definitely a Dynamite 3-star match.
Mm-hmm, definitely. I mean, doesn't remind you kind of like of an old school classic, like type of like babyface heel. Like, you get your ass whooped, and then you're coming back, and then you're, I don't know where you
go, like somewhere in the 3/4 mark.
Yeah.
I think there was a false comeback where, Christian's coming back, he's coming back, and then they flip it back. I think Kaz hit the Spanish fly off the top rope, which is his absolute finisher. He finishes people with that. Christian came out of that at like 2.99999 seconds. I forget what the setup was for the final, I guess, kill switch. I like calling it the unprettier. Christian or Kaz went to do something, threw him behind him, flipped it, and got it. 1, 2, 3. It doesn't move Kaz. I mean, that's Kaz's first singles loss, I think, in the company.
Yeah.
It said something like he was 11-0 in singles match or something.
Yeah.
It's a good match. Cage's pace didn't disappoint me at all. It didn't make me go like, oh, he should have stayed retired in the least. He looks like he hit the gym and hit the cardio and has been in the training facility doing what he's got to do to look good, especially since Kaz has probably been active since before Cage even retired. So
absolutely.
Yeah, no disappointments in that match at all.
Absolutely. I agree. And I was just, for me, if you notice that he even had like little skin mark right there. But yeah, because you could tell he has not been in like in a ring in a physical with anybody else. And I'm just seeing that, I was like, oh my God. But I was impressed by him. Kudos to Christian. I enjoyed it. But now, what do you see now with Christian moving forward? Who do you think should be the next opponent for him? Should it be the rest of SCU, like for example Daniels, or who would you recommend to be, probably be the next victim for Christian Cage?
Oh man, I don't know, because we all know that he's moving. It's the meteor that's coming in the Kenny Omega orbit. The gravitational pull of Kenny Omega is what Christian is, lack of a better word, gravitating towards. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there was that promo between or with um, Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, but I think that they're a tag team on like Elevate now or
Yeah.
something. So I don't think he'd be coming for either one of them, but that would make sense. Maybe Christopher Daniels would be great. Have him just carry through SCU.
Yeah.
I think that's probably those would be like legitimate wins that don't bury Daniels or Kaz or even I mean it would probably bury Scorpio because he's on his way up. But yeah, put him through Daniels. That would be great. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, definitely. I would love to see that too. Just to get, get his rust, in-ring rust out of the way, get him at least with great veterans like, Daniels and Kazarian, get him used to it back, back on his old, his old school style, Christian Cage, TNA. And I love the fact that he brought
when you say that TNA style was definitely a better style than I think the WWE because he had more freedom.
Yes.
In the ring and on the mic. And that's, not technically his fault at all. With promoters, you were told what to do and not to do in the ring, and don't, Paul London once got reprimanded for overselling so well that he actually stole the heat from a match, and they got mad at him for looking too good in the ring. That's the only company that I know that exists in is WWE. Other companies, I don't know personally. Obviously, I've never worked for any company, besides 2 or 3. Mm-hmm. That are like, hey, don't look too good in the ring. You don't want to, I don't know if that's a thing. Yeah. I hope not. But Cage was definitely able to, final form in Impact and in AEW. We all know that basically they have as much creative control as they can get a hold of.
I agree.
I think we're going to see. Hopefully, his best matches might be ahead of him. Not counting like the tag team TLC matches, but his best singles. Hopefully, I mean, that Kenny match. Starting to get excited.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting excited for that. Hopefully, but little by little. All right, now let's move on. I want to go ahead and move on now with the. I guess you did call this one. I think we did either yourself or I did. I don't recall. So it looks like it's going to be Darby and Matt Hardy for sure. Feud coming up for that TNT. Yeah, I mean, we did see that promo. So I mean, that was a good promo from Darby. I did actually like it. I enjoyed it.
I liked it a lot. I really. Yeah, some of the promos are kind of a little too like they're so edgy, they're kind of cheesy. This one wasn't too much, it wasn't too little, it wasn't him skateboarding into a bed of nails while Steve-O recorded it, which I love Steve-O, but it definitely emphasizes a comedy gimmick when you put him in. But this was simple. I think there was some swearing in it. I think I could be wrong. I know there's a lot of swearing in AEW, and I'll get into that.
It's more like shit. It's more like shit and bitch.
There was a lot of shit and bitching, and we can say that on this. I think if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm just like a selective memory, but I think he said something like, "I don't want your beeping money, and I don't respect you."
Yeah.
Because you have money. I don't know if he said the F word.
He said the F word, but it was bleeped out.
They did bleep it, right? Am I making that up? They did say that. Okay, yeah, I love that. The face mask was so creepy.
Oh my god! With the one eye,
it was proportioned. He had the hair, and I was like, it took me a minute to realize it was Darby. Yeah, it was simple. It was very grunge era. 90s, very Raven-esque, which I'm a big Raven fan.
Oh my god, me too.
This has got major Lock vibes, so
I love it. Let's say that's one. I guess I believe you called it on that one, but yeah, definitely. That's a for sure fact. We're gonna see that fight coming soon. And now let's move on to, I guess you can say the one that I called. Most of it. Not all of it, because one which is cute. Cody versus QT, Arn being the referee. What did I say? It was so obvious that he was going to turn heel, right? But remind you what I said, that he was going to take some of the members from the Nightmare Factory, and I fucking nailed it. What did I say?
I don't know if you did it by name with Go, but did you say students? I think you said the students of the Nightmare Factory.
Yeah, students, yeah.
And you told me it was Anthony Ogogo, and I'm sorry I don't know the other gentleman's name.
Aaron Solo and Nick Camarado. I called Nick Camarado last week.
You called Camarado 100%. And I was blown away. I was like, I don't want to say I was impressed by your prediction, but I was definitely like, they must watch our show. Yeah. Um, we have another faction. Like I said, we have another faction. Like, it doesn't end. How many factions are put in this company? Might as well be called all AEF, man, all elite factions.
Right? Another faction from another faction turning into a faction. Jesus, how many factions?
Yeah, it's just, yeah. The one question I have is I don't feel like QT Marshall was the mastermind of this like MJF was, because when he walked out of the ring, he had his back towards the ring. And I don't think it was like a walk-off home run where like he hit a home run and then he walks away and then he knows the big swerve is coming in the ring. He's trying to be the cool guy. Yeah. He turned around and kind of looked a little surprised. So I don't know if the storyline is that he concocted this entire swerve or if he was surprised and relieved to see people going with him that he didn't necessarily enlist into his little army there. We'll find out next week. But it didn't look too much like he knew it was going to happen. I think like the Arn thing was almost unintentional too, a little bit. We'll see, you know.
Yeah.
He kind of acted like, oh no, what have I done? Walked out of the ring, and then he's like, oh, people are coming with me. That's cool. Yeah, that might be the storyline. But the next week could be like, oh, mastermind the whole thing. That might be where they're going.
Yeah, but let me ask you this though: does this storyline even intrigue you? Does it really intrigue you, honestly, in a way?
This is what AEW does that I've talked about, and I love is they do use the bigger names to bring up the under names. So they are using this as a tool, like Jericho did to bring up Sammy, Proud and Powerful. They're going to use MJF's or not MJF. They're going to use QT Marshall somehow off the ropes of this to bring up the three Nightmare Factory students. Mm-hmm. So this isn't putting QT over as a top heel because I don't think people care enough that much, but I think it's going to elevate those three guys.
I hope so, because I mean, people are not familiar much with Nick Camarato, but I know they're familiar with Anthony Gogo and Aaron Solo.
Boxer in the Olympics. That's a big deal. Like, yeah,
that is cool. That's a big deal. So I mean, hopefully, and especially Aaron Solo, I love his work. I'm one of his, big fan of his work, and he deserves to be. I don't mind him as a heel either. I didn't expect him to turn heel, but I like it. I mean, for me, the storyline, I'm just not much intrigued because it's QT. No offense to QT and Marshall, but it's just like I don't know.
Like, I'd never heard of QT before AEW, and I'm sorry, maybe I'm not as hardcore as I appear to be. Mm-hmm. I couldn't tell you even now if he came from Impact or if he ran in the Bullet Club in Japan when he was the American Nightmare. I don't know the history of QT Marshall and Cody Rhodes as far as in-ring storylines go.
Yeah.
Sounds like a Ring of Honor guy, maybe, if I were to guess. No idea. But what I care about is that they are doing something, and they were beating the shit out of Cody. And I did think this was going to be like his go-home beating. You know how they'll write a guy out of a storyline for a couple months by giving him an ass whooping? Mm-hmm. We'll see if that's what this is. Another thing I liked was that Velvet Rose came out, who I did for some reason think was Brandy Rhodes at first. No offense to either one of those women who do look very similar with their hairstyle and their outfits. And then I was expecting Jade Cargill to come out and just powerbomb her. And then, I thought that whole storyline was going to evolve right there. I thought it was just going to run outs and saves and run outs and saves, kind of like how an end of Attitude Era Raw used to go, where people would just come out, hit a finisher, someone would come out, hit a finisher. I was like, oh shit, they're doing the old Attitude Era ending. Yeah. But at the beginning of the show. But that didn't happen. I don't really, they just like kind of, I don't know what you want to call the Nightmare Factory student team now. We just call it QT's kids. Kind of just left, and then they tended to Cody, and then they kind of just moved on to the next storyline or the next match.
Yeah, but we did see that after when Red Velvet got her, she got beat up by Jade Cargill in the back when they were asking, "Oh, what happened out there? She was trying to tell what's going on, and then boom, out of nowhere, you broke my heel. That's why I'm the bitch. I'm like, oh, right, all right. I see how you feel. All right. I mean, I'm getting to like her, but I did see more ring.
She cut a promo before the QT Marshall. It was between the cage match, Christian cage match. They didn't have a cage match. It was between the QT Marshall, before the first and second matches. Jade Cargill busted a solid promo. She has all the confidence a strong independent woman on a promo show like that should have.
Yeah.
I really dig her promo skills, her confidence. I don't know if it's natural. She's talented. She's talented on the mic. She doesn't stutter. She sells it. I love her line. I love that I didn't come here to be a bitch. I am the bitch. I love that.
Yeah, I think that's sold me on. I'm like, all right.
I love that fire.
Yeah.
I love that's her catchphrase. I hope that's on Heels if they still run that show.
I don't know if they do. That's a good question. I haven't even paid attention to that.
Yeah, that's a good question. Brandy was running that, right? Like that was the show, but
oh yeah.
I don't even know what it was. Was it a wrestling show or was it like a?
This is more of a talk show. I think it was. Didn't pay too much attention to it. I believe so. Just about like the women power, the women's revolution, women's power, and the AEW women's roster. But not really. I really have not looked into it detailedly. So I just, no pun intended towards them. It's just we have so much to watch, so much to do.
I barely watch Dark, and that's just because there's so much stuff out there. I love AEW, but there's a lot of stuff out there.
A lot. And you mentioned earlier about that Ethan and Scorpio Sky. I wanted to ask you a question about that, and I'm going to get you familiar with that, with this question. So this is my my question is you just took Ethan Page away from Impact. Well, he actually did not resign. He was in a tag team with Josh Alexander. They were known as the North. Great tag team, by the way. We wanted to see them versus FTR in a dream match, but obviously that can still happen to the crossovers. Doesn't have to be him specifically signed with Impact. You got him, and then you have Scorpio Sky, who's part of SCU. We already see him. He's kind of like leaning himself out of that, being now solo, being heel. And now and Ethan Page and now Scorpio Sky, a faction. I'm like, what's up with that? I'm like, okay, why are you putting two different people that used to be in a faction and putting them in another faction again as a tag team? I thought my opinion was supposed to be, them going their individual routes, being the greatest heels that need to be. But then this, like, oh my God, what the fuck? I mean, I don't know. Does this make sense to you? Does this feel right for them to now start this heel tag team, as you could say?
Right. At the beginning of that, the promo that they cut was fantastic.
Yes.
The way I don't know who's directing and writing these promos, with the directing of this particular promo and a lot of the promos. This one was awesome because it was like 7 seconds to Scorpio. The lights would dim out. It would cut to Ethan. 7 seconds, the lights would cut out and come back to Scorpio. And then it would pan out, and it was both of them sitting next to each other. And I thought that was really cool.
I like that, yeah.
That was very classy, very like a plot twist.
Yeah.
But yeah, on the heels of Scorpio turning heel, which he did officially, in my opinion, not addressing his separation from SCU at all. There wasn't even a conversation. I think maybe there was something in passing where Kaz is like, "Where's your head at?" And then that was it. They didn't say, I'm out of the company or of the team. And then they didn't do anything besides this promo to bring Ethan Page into the picture. And then now they're tired of being held back. They're going to be, their final form in Elevate. They did not officially say that they were going to be a tag team. It's very well insinuated that they will be because they were sitting together.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine them just being friends that are two singles wrestlers on the Elevate roster because that's a conflict of interest.
Mm-hmm.
This guy.
Why am I disappeared? How come I'm not visible?
Bunch of boobies.
Why you're not visible?
I don't know. I know why. My thing's not plugged in.
Oh no.
Here it comes.
The whole reason why it's not plugged in is because I had to print out resumes. Real world stuff, guys, and actually just came from work. So
there you go, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. MGC. see
There's
Matthews.
going to be something here. There's going to be a big reveal.
Yep. Oh, there he is.
Not much. I'm just wearing a Pink Floyd shirt.
Ooh, very nice.
Oh, very nice. Love it.
Sweating my ass off in the kitchen, so.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, there's Matthew Callis Steamboat, ladies and gentlemen.
It's that next level consciousness, guys.
Yeah, the next work level consciousness, right?
Here, guys, want to see my faja?
I don't know what that word is, but sure.
It's this apron.
Oh, yeah.
Well, no, it's like a back brace, but they call it a faja.
Oh, you got the back brace. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, so we were on the topic of
this weird union of Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page out of nowhere. It apparently looked like they were going to become singles heels on their own, and then AEW just put them together in a promo and is putting them on Elevate, and they came out of nowhere. We don't know why or where it's going.
I think I know why. It's because since we just lost MJF and Jericho as a tag team, a heel tag team, and then like the Inner Circles tag teams, they need like a really vocal heel tag team to kind of fill out the division. Just a really nasty group. Because the Good Brothers, they're kind of tied up with a bunch of other stuff. So
Right.
they need that really, like a pair of like really nasty. I like how calculating they both are. And they're really, I don't know what it is, like a rich boy. They kind of have a little bit of like a rich boy.
Yeah, well, Ethan Page is like, I've compared him to old school Scott Steiner.
Yeah. I think all Scorpio Sky needs to do is kind of lean into it, and then they just got to be in like a convertible, acting like dicks, flashing their money around.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Rocket and Tubbs from Miami Vice.
Yeah.
It just isn't my thing. It's like you just.
They were like Scorpio was set to like take over the singles division. It looked like he was about to get
he turned heel. Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to use that momentum to be a singles heel, and then move up the rankings in that division. And now he's on Elevate in the tag team. So
I mean, I'm hoping this is a one-time thing, but like I said, I don't mind it. But that doesn't make it. Like I said earlier, it doesn't make sense to me with Ethan Page. It's just like he just left the tag team to be in singles, be on his own, and then he's gonna be on another.
They were both in that ladder match together. So
yeah,
it's like we'll see. I mean, it's what it is.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we have to wait and see. Absolutely right. And then we did get the Moxley and Caesar Bononi matchup. We talked about him last week, so we've been seeing
what they're going to do with Caesar, and I said they're going to put him down on Dark and have him win against a couple of ranked opponents, and they did the opposite. They had him lose against the top guy in the business.
Yeah, so I mean, your thoughts? Yeah, continue.
Yeah, that's basically it. Like, I love the promo. Mox is really just crushing these promos, man. Like, I don't know if Kingston's rubbing off on him or not, but like they come off as improv and from the heart at the same time. I love the line, like, oh, he's a good looking dude. Kind of looks like a lifeguard from Baywatch. I can see how he's good for the company, but how are you going to sell him to the fans if I kill him? And I'm like, whoa, bro, come on, man.
I mean, as long as his opponent puts him. If his opponent puts him over, kind of like how Cody put over like Dark, like puts him over like not in terms of a match, but puts him over and like builds him up verbally. Because like Cody, after he faced Darby, he's like, I want the distance with Darby. He's a very fierce opponent. Even though I beat him by the skin of my teeth. Like that's always like their way around like burying an opponent after beating them.
Yeah.
And Caesar had what are their names? JD Drake is one.
Yeah,
of them.
and Ryan Nemeth. Yeah.
Ryan Nemeth. Yeah. Delph Light. Yeah, that's a weird little. It's a faction. We got another faction. What if I said
so many factions, man?
I don't know if that was a thing that developed on Dark or if that's something that developed in a previous promotion, but I think Drake next week is wrestling
Darby Allin for the TNT title.
I thought it was going to be Mox for some reason because he came and attacked Mox outside the ring. I thought JD Drake was Eric Bischoff's nephew. Come on,
you talk about Gary Bischoff? No, you're talking about Eugene?
Eugene, I thought it was Eugene at first.
Nick Dinsmore, you're like, oh, he gained like 100 pounds.
I thought it was actually Eugene though. I was like, Eugene, because he was kind of walking. He had the jacket, like the varsity jacket with the underwear on. I was like, all right.
Yeah. But I could say that. I mean, Moxley, he made him look good, honestly, and he did make him look good.
Sit slightly to your right because you have a belly button coming out of your chin. I
think that this is the Great Muda's belly button, so it's okay.
Oh, it's okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's a Great Muda, so it's okay.
it's a belly button that united the IWGP and NWA titles. That's a good belly button. It's a legendary one.
Where do you think? I mean, this is a loss that doesn't affect Caesar because he's so new to the company, and obviously Mox is top of the food chain.
I think AEW does a good job with the long-term storytelling that they could eventually circle back to this in a very they always call back to things. There's no something happens and it's permanently forgotten. Like it's going to be like a match several months later. It's like, yeah, I still remember that loss, Moxley. It's going to be different this time. And then he wins by DQ and then blah, blah, blah. And then, there's so many things that AEW does.
It'll be a long time before I think Caesar's in the same ring as anyone in the standings of like Moxley or former title belt holders.
Yeah. I mean,
it depends on how he gets over. I mean, we saw quickly. I mean, I know Jay White's another animal, but like he steamrolled so many legends over the course of like a year. Jay White, like Okada Tanahashi and Naito, just like over the course of like a year and a half, like just right away. Now, like if we're talking in the course of months, so it just depends on how charismatic he is. Is the main thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, I think he's going to be sitting and maybe even dominating that lower level, like dark. He might be like a dark main eventer for a while, and low level Dynamite between.
What do you think? I know this kind of a goofy idea is. What do you guys think of a title just for dark?
Don't hate it, but I don't love it.
No, I think maybe for elevation, I think makes more sense with it. Because
maybe it could be on both dark and elevation.
Okay, yeah.
It'll never be on Dynamite. That's
why not? No. It should be. Honestly, it should be. Why not? Because that's like a promoting. That's pretty much like how Chris said last week. He's like I don't want to call it like the main roster, like how he,
because they appear on the main roster.
Yeah. But why not put maybe a Elevate title, maybe that Elevate title.
Think of them as maybe that rather than XC, you could just think of them as AEW's Young Lions.
I'd rather it be more like a tournament style where you move up your rankings and the number 1 and the number 2 get a Dynamite title shot.
Okay, get like a TNT title shot maybe. Yeah. Okay.
So because AEW, I like that they do the ranking system. They have a 1 through 10, and you move your way up, and they're not giving title shots to number 10 just because they're more popular than the number 2 guy, like UFC does.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that you have a ranking system that covers Dark and Elevate, and then you could either do like a round robin style, which I mean you'd have to do that every week, and that might be a little brutal. It's like King of the Ring.
Definitely.
But you just move up and. Whoever's 1 and 2 by Dynamite, or whoever's number 1 by Dynamite gets the TNT title shot. I think that's kind of cool. That might, you earn your way on the exactly like what Brandon Scarry is doing with Voltage. Is you have to work your way out of the undercard onto a pay-per-view, and I would love to see that.
Definitely.
That would be the plan. Just not to have a good idea stolen from a friend of the show or anything like that. But I think I don't want too many titles. I still want the Thrace title. That's the only title I would want. I'm not really looking forward to like an undercard title because know how they've been. I mean, the IC title, the US title, the European title, 24/7 hardcore European women's division 72-5 13 bars blanket championship candy store title. Right. I don't want it to be convoluted. I want the titles to mean something. And in AEW, no titles. So none of the titles yet have lost a prestige, in my opinion. Every time someone's won or lost a title, it's meant something, and they're not just gifting it to David Arquette or Drew Carey.
Oh, Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny is doing some good things. I'm not mad at it. I ain't mad at it. He's getting in there. He's taking his licks. He's making the money.
Rappers are high flyers, according to Warhorse. It's like Snoop Dogg and Bad Bunny. It's like the next rapper that shows up is gonna do an aerial maneuver. Like he's probably gonna he's gonna try shooting Star Press and botch it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, and then.
But that's it. That's my opinion on the Caesar situation, and then obviously your question about the lower tier title as well.
Mm-hmm, definitely, and then a lot of segments also this Dynamite as well that I like. Well, the other one we did have, we just did a Team Taz segment very briefly. Yes, we did mention already that it's on the verge of Brian Cage going space and spreading up with Team Taz. It's already getting there, so it's like there's not much to talk about there. We'd rather we talk about it when it happens. But what I want to talk about is like, yes, I'm going to be Ned Flanders. Like a return of Inner Circle, baby, when they came in right there, the pinnacle.
Very, very. I love how vicious everybody was, and all the blood was really solid. This was a pretty bloody Dynamite from beginning to end.
I loved it. I fucking loved it. I love how all of them, you see how they matched with everyone. You had Sammy and Sean. You had Hager and Wardlow. Then you had FTR and Santana Ortiz and Jericho and MJF. I fucking love that segment. That was awesome to see Jericho back, and it was just so hilarious. When he opened the door, I was like, oh shit! He opened the bathroom door, and he's there. Oh, yeah, we gotta go, guys. Let's go. And Jack Hager, I loved it. They pulled it off. That was a great. Whoever idea was that fucking pulled it off. It was fantastic. I loved it. So I'll go with you, CK. You love that. I cannot wait. Say that again.
Getting some frozen issues. I don't know if it's me again.
It's Glacier.
Glacier. That's the
Glacier.
I should really I really need a picture of Glacier every time that happens.
Well, yeah.
Like I swear he's been feuding with us for so long.
Right.
Well,
okay. Am I clear?
Yeah, you're clear. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I don't want to kiss AEW's ass too much, and I say a lot of things that I mean, and a lot of them are not hyperbole when I say something is the best ever of something when it's in AEW. I say things like MJF is the best heel of the past 30 years. I mean that. I've said many things like that, across AEW. That backstage brawl, nice.
I have to just for the.
It is probably one of the best backstage brawls in the history of the business. It was short but not sweet, and I mean that in a good way.
Yeah,
it was rated R, just shy of swear words. I don't know what name he goes by in AEW, but the Bald Revolution. Skip Anderson. What's his name? Wish
Cash
One
Wheeler?
Wonders. Yeah, is he the bald one?
Wait, I think it's Cash, right? Cash is the bald one.
Which one's Dash? Is there Dash and Cash?
Dax and Cash.
Dax and Cash. Yeah, Cash Wheeler
is the bald one.
No, that's Hardwood. Sure. That's Hardwood.
Oh no.
Of the FTR.
Dax Harwood's the ball one. Sorry.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. I'll get them right. Their names sound so.
Yeah, I know. It's
and they switched them
confusing for me too.
When they switched their names, it sounds exactly like the old names, but it's just like one letter different.
Instead of Dash, it's Dax.
And then I don't remember if it was Santana or Ortiz had a bunch of blood on the shirt. I'm like, is that the way the shirt looks? Is that the graphic design on the shirt? And then the camera pans down to the bald gentleman bleeding from the dome like he had just fought BJ Penn in 2007.
I like that analogy.
I love it.
Because BJ Penn's a damn good boxer.
And
Glacier again?
Glacier, there he is, right behind me.
What?
He's really feuding with Chris.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to reset. So if you want to pause it, yeah, I'm gonna reset. I'm sorry. I'll be right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah,
you could pause the video.
All right, we're back.
We're recovering from this guy's vengeance.
I think I fixed my internet issues. Anyways,
Chris, what did you do to Glacier? He's a real.
I hit him with that Ricky the Dragon Steamboat flame, and that son of a bitch.
He hit you back with the freeze ray. You know?
Yeah. The violence in this backstage brawl was good. It was very gory, which surprised me. There was a lot of blood. Dash, Dax, Harwood, whichever one, the bald gentleman. I don't know if that was intentional, but he was like definitely juiced, or not juiced.
You got
cut.
stitches for that.
Yeah.
Got color.
It was very well directed. It was short. It was only like a 3-minute thing. But it was to the point. I don't know what the name of that go to sleep that Sammy Guevara hits, where it's the torture rack.
Yeah.
I love that he hit that on cement to a guy who's twice in size. Sammy Guevara is a beast. He hit that move in a hallway with like a 6'4", 250-pounder on his shoulders. Jericho giving MJF a swirly was classic. That's going to be history. That's going to be one of. There's so many Jericho moments. You can make a top 100 Jericho moments. Giving MJF a swirly in the bathroom with the back of the Daily's place is one of them. I love that he did that, and then throwing him through that glass. Man, I've been there. I've literally been through glass windows before. You can see the scars.
Yeah.
Bam, dude. I remember that story. I get PTSD from watching that in movies. Wow, it was so short and to the point, and I am terrified to see where this ends up. They're going to have to do something like the Stampede Brawl, but not as comedic. The Stampede Brawl is one of my favorite favorite, like, I don't know what you say, big time outdoor match events.
Yeah.
They're going to have to do something like that, but not in the stadium, but somewhere open.
I mean, it has to be blood and guts. I mean, we've been saying that as of late.
Absolutely. If they do a War Games, like, I don't know if they're going to do, like we said, the actual 2 cages. I like the idea of the rings stacked top of each other. That's never been done before.
I don't know how that possibly can be done, but it could be done. I don't know.
You have one member for every other opposing member. You know, you have the Bizarro World version of every member of each faction, which was the point of this.
Yeah.
Wow. Fantastic. As good as you can get for a quick backstage non-pay-per-view event. I mean, throwback to like Austin and Booker T with the milk at the shopping market.
So one question though, I know WWE has the copyrights on names of matches, but if you have a type of like a Survivor Series style match, they can't like you don't call it Survivor Series. You just call it something else.
You could call it like last 7 or something like that. Yeah, Final 4. Or
they're not able to own whatever happens in the ring. They don't own the rights to it. They only own the name, the title of the
right. Yeah. So,
but they don't own the stipulation at all. That's everybody does it. Come on, everybody has battle royals. Everybody has.
Everybody has a cage match.
Yeah, everybody has a cage match. They can't own none of that.
Yeah. And they call it battle royale instead of Royal Rumble because
it's like you have to do a 4-count pin. You're not allowed to do 3. It's like
yeah. But yeah,
it's not like a little known fact is the UFC actually owns the rights and the trademark to the shape of the octagon and the word the octagon. So you cannot have an 8-sided cage for any promotion in sports, which is wild. And then obviously you can't call it the octagon. So like, you know, an indie promo, when they have a cage like Strikeforce cage with six sides instead of 8. So yeah, is exactly like that. You can have the Survivor Series match 4-on-4 elimination. You just got to call it something else. That's all it is.
Yeah.
I mean, like King of the Ring. King of the Ring is just a regular round robin tournament that's existed for, I'm going to assume, a couple hundred years in other sports. They just put King of the Ring on it, and that's the part that's branded, but not the format.
Mm-hmm.
I think probably the best possible booking for the Inner Circle versus Pinnacle, I think if they do a Survivor Series style match, but the stipulation has to be like really permanently damaging, like because the whole thing with the Alliance versus WWE, because I was a kid at the time, I was Mark, and I was like, really, one's gonna die, one's gonna be gone forever, and I was at the edge of my seat watching every second when it was just Chris Jericho and The Rock left over, and I was like, please let the heroes survive. And that's like the emotion they wanted you to have. It was like watching a movie, like the heroes like outnumbered and outgunned, you know. I could just imagine like Jericho, like the same thing happening because Jericho did so good in that Alliance, versus WWE Survivor Series match.
Yeah.
Instead of The Rock, it's Sammy Guevara, and then they're just like crawling to each other. It's like, we could do this. We're outnumbered, but we could beat them. And it's like 4 against 2, and everybody's like emotionally like on Sammy and Jericho's side throughout the whole match. It's like, how are they doing it? And then Sammy's like wobbling on his knees, like hitting cool finishers, like weekly. It's like, how is he doing? And then maybe Sammy picks up the final pin, and bam, you made a legend.
I mean, no, I love it, but also another way I would book it is first have like a war, like have them all individual single matches. Spears to Guevara, Wardlow, Hager, FTR, versus Santana Ortiz, Jericho, versus MJF. Have them all a piece, different matches, single matches. Let's say they're tied up. 2 of them wins, 2 of them not. 2 team wins, 2 team loses. Like 2 apiece. Then and then they'll say, you know what? Let's settle this. Fuck it. Then we'll do the blood and guts, or let's just everybody goes all out, whatever stipulation they would like to choose. I would like to see that better first, so they can build a better build up. And this storyline could be almost for the rest of the year. If it can be probably maybe by October it could be the latest, or August, that this that can last.
How long did Alliance versus WWE last?
That one lasted like just 2-3 months, like just very quickly, because Vince knew he was getting bored of it, so it wasn't really. Yeah, it wasn't like, okay, yeah, I want to just kill this shit. I'm bored. It was like, so he wanted to get rid of it.
I remember it went through SummerSlam. It went from SummerSlam to Survivor Series at the very least.
Like after SummerSlam, I think it was. Yeah, after SummerSlam.
It was like Booker T. Like Rock got the WCW title off Booker T, and then like they killed
So you could say between SummerSlam. Actually, no, it was before. You're right. So before, between August and November. So they had it last for 3 months. They could do the same thing with these 2 teams. Right. Like I said, the ending of it, they could just end it as Blood and Guts if they decide to go ahead and move forward with that pay-per-view, because we already know that May is their traditional Double or Nothing in May coming up. I mean, they don't have anything booked for April this month, because they're focusing more with Impact. For them, their Rebellion pay-per-view coming up, and they have another one, our Hardcore Justice, which is the following Saturday. I don't know why they're doing that, but that's another topic to talk about. But yeah, I think they can go ahead and definitely do something down the line, maybe starting at Double or Nothing individual matches, and then move forward maybe to do Blood and Guts. Everybody's been dying for it. I just
came up with the best possible stipulation that would actually help. Loser cannot be on Dynamite for a year.
I don't like that.
No, it's either that.
No, that's a Vince thing.
They would no. It would kind of keep them on Elevation and Dark, and maybe bring attention to that.
That sounds like a punishment.
Yeah,
that sounds like you're going from NXT to the main roster.
Speaking of punishment, I mean, this guy right here slapping, trying to slap Matt. You slapped Matt Jackson, man. What's wrong with you? You slapped him, Callis.
Brutal, bro.
That was brutal, man. What's wrong with you getting in everybody's faces like that?
It's a manipulative carny,
Jesus Christ. I mean, oh my God.
It's the invisible hand. It's so invisible that you can't see it.
But yeah, then let's jump on to this match. So we did, Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers versus Laredo Kid and the Lucha Bros. Wow, that's all I can say. But I'm gonna let Matt Callis, since that's your boy right there, thoughts about that match.
It's like, okay, think of a car that goes from 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. Like the second Good Brothers come out, bam, they went like all 3. It's like a triple barrel shotgun that just went off at the very beginning. Like if it was the complete opposite of the Christian Frankie Kazarian match, like if you're not into grappling, like I love grappling too, I could appreciate it, like if you love grappling and like Zack Sabre Jr. style matches and Sonata style matches, then, but if you only like that, this isn't for you. If you only want something like fast-paced and exciting, it goes to show, like from the bottom to the top of the show, the complete opposites of the two. It's like, I'm going crazy with this. They should add like diving boards and freaking. Call that shit like cables for them to like. And
like when Kevin Nash threw Rey Mysterio into the pool at Bash at the Beach. or something. Was that? Yeah, I think that actually happened.
They should.
There was a pool.
If they added like trampolines and freaking diving boards, just imagine how insane that shit would be with the Lucha Bros and Laredo Kid. That would be like freaking and a rocket booster. Give one of them like a jetpack or some shit. Zero. Miedo. Just imagine that. And you could pull it off. Pentagon Dark could pull it off like Zero. Miedo.
Jesus,
I don't know what blast off in Espanol is or
I can't say
Atalante, Fuego, just like
Fuego. Adelante or no, not Fuego. Fuego's very fire. I don't know. It's tough word. Tough word.
Is Pac injured or is there just
he's injured? He's injured.
God damn it again. Not again, but like another reason that he's off TV for a while.
Yeah, well, yeah, because of his ankle. And I think it's the one that he shattered. So it's nothing serious. It's sore. So painful. Well, that match he had against Jericho on Raw, he shattered his ankle. Rolled it and he broke it.
Yeah, fuck. Ouch. Wow. Yeah. The last week's match with I don't know, Death Triangle Dos. Dos?
Yeah.
Part 2?
Yeah.
I mentioned it was really slow for the moveset of everyone involved, but the buildup was to the dive fest where everybody dove at the end of it. And I think that's why the match was slow, was to pay off at the end. This match was pedal to the metal from start to finish. Even with the Good Brothers, who are awesome workers, they are fast Gallows is a big guy and Anderson is a power smaller guy, they didn't do anything to slow the match down in the pacing at all. They did exactly what their job was. Wow. Just no flaws in this match. I love the spot where I believe it's Rey Fenix hits that reverse 619 into the spinning wheel kick. I love that move, but he set that up. He kicked Anderson, I think, and he backflipped onto his feet, and then he got Canadian destroyed out of nowhere. I was like, whoa. I don't think it was Anderson. I think it was somebody
Omega.
else.
It was Omega.
Yeah. I just love how inventive these spots are now. Like, Lucha is getting so good. I mean, it's always been good. It's always been the premier inventive style of wrestling.
Yeah.
The problem with that is that you always have to do the last time you did something awesome. And these guys are doing it every week. They are outdoing their spot fest week to week, but still telling a story when they do it.
Yeah.
The plan was they isolated Kenny, that reverse 619 into in the spinning heel kick, into the Canadian Destroyer, into the near fall. I'm speechless about that match.
I mean, it was a great match. I mean, this is your Lucha Libre 2.0, what it is now in AAA or Consejo Mundial or Crash. Or it's a new era for Lucha Libre. It's not like
and Lucha. I mean, as whatever drama happened at the closure of Lucha Underground. I know there was some legal battles that has nothing to do with everything leading up to that moment.
Mm-hmm.
That was really the second wave in America of that style, because you were able to have a high budget. It was produced by Robert Rodriguez, who does Once Upon a Time in Mexico, Desperado, Sin City. So they had a high level production value and able to pull in the best of the best from all styles, but it was Lucha Underground. So they were able to pull in the best of that style and really open the door to the American crowd, who's now really appreciating it when they see it on AEW. And even, 205 Live has Lucha House Party, which I love. But they're constantly having to outdo themselves. And that's what I love about the style, is if they do that same spot, the 619 head kick into the Canadian Destroyer, next week, I'm just going to be like, I've seen it. I'm like, it's the best spot of all time. Yeah, I've seen it. That's jaded, and I love it. I love that they just, goddamn, man.
One thing I'll say, right off the bat, Penta El Cero Miedo, he deserves a championship title. He needs a belt on him.
Again,
the Cody feud was quick, man. That lasted one match. He lost, and then it was over.
I could have kind of wished they would have continued with that, but I guess
Yeah, I don't know where they were. I don't know if they were doing let's test the waters on splitting up the tag team. or maybe this is what happened. Maybe when Pac was injured and they did not know what to do with that triangle, they were like, well, let's see if we can make them go solo. Let's have Ray feud with, was it Jungle Boy? I forget who it was. Or Darby, or I forget. And then they had Penta go for Cody. And then maybe after that, they're like, oh, we could just get Lince Dorado. Or is that who it was?
No.
I'm sorry. Maybe he wasn't available at the time. Maybe he became available, and it became a good idea to put him in the mix.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why the singles storylines didn't.
Didn't
evolve.
Yeah, I agree.
Laredo Kid's been pretty busy because I mean he's had MLW and AAA, so
yeah, the man is.
I don't know if he does CMLL too or not.
No, he doesn't do CMLL. Only just Chris for those promotions.
Oh, do you know who does FMLL?
What was the FM before Lucha Libre, Chris?
I don't know. I don't speak Spanish, man.
But it was like
FM
Lucha Libre, obviously.
I showed up to a bullfighting arena in Pico and took my $50 and a power bomb, and I was happy.
That's badass. Hey, I'd be down. The AEW should hold its event there at that same arena in Pico. I know what place you're talking about.
Oh yeah, it's a Pico Arena, Pico Rivera.
AEW, if you're watching, Tony, come to that Pico Arena. That's the perfect place.
Oh, yeah.
Other than Staples Center, if you want to do an outdoor show, that place is known for Lucha Libre and bullfighting and other stuff.
Yeah.
Now the aftermath of it, we did see Moxley obviously just walking by himself, and then the Young Bucks, and it looks like the Young Bucks came in. I guess they wanted to attack the good, Omega and the Good Brothers.
Yeah.
Now it leads up to a match for next week. I'm gonna call it right now. They're going heel.
Yes, thank you. I thought it was gonna happen last night because they were standing behind Moxley
and super kick, right?
I thought they were gonna come behind him, and he would be like the Seth Rollins turn on the Shield, how everybody was standing in front of Seth just by a couple of inches, and then they didn't see the chair shot come, and then they got in the ring. I'm like, oh, they can still super kick Party Moxley. It's got to happen, man, because the thing that you're doing, Matt, with the other Matt, is
so many Matts.
You're trying to piss him off. You're trying to bring that fire back that he last week talked about is missing. That real, just evil Japan style Young Bucks,
where they hide underneath the ring, like during the Michael Elgin match.
Yeah, and when they were beating the shit out of Kevin Steen in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, just a bunch of shitheads who are awesome, and they kind of were doing that when they were like super kicking Schiavone and Alex Marquez or Marvez, I don't know his name. They were sort of doing that a little bit, but then they stopped doing that all of a sudden for no reason when they went back to they won the tag titles and then they were faces again. It was a really weird heel to face move. But then the Good Brothers are still in the picture, so what are we gonna get? Like a Good Brothers Young Bucks tag match for the Love of Kenny title or something? Like, how do you separate?
But I'm going what you said. If you remember, you said I think it was last week or the week before. You said, okay, they go heel, and then they're gonna fight for the love for Omega.
Yeah.
And them going after the Good Brothers, and they're like, oh no, we're your best friends. We're the Good Brothers type of stuff. I see that happening now.
Yeah, I this is like another case of if Young Bucks stay baby faces, I'm gonna be really bored. I think the heel thing would be perfect right now. Yeah. And plus, I think the whole thing, like, because Tony Khan said this when Dark Order turned babyface, is that we lost 8 heels, so we need to turn a lot of people heel, and now we lost the Inner Circle as heels, so we got to turn even more people.
You did gain Pinnacle, which were already heels, but now they're united, I guess.
Yeah. Well, like QT Marshall's faction, and and now like if they do this,
Caesar Bononi's faction, that's a heel faction,
Yeah. So I think the only thing you need to do after you turn Young Bucks heels is just build up a bunch of new baby faces off of them, and let them get upset wins.
I agree 100%.
All especially those Nightmare Factory guys, they gotta build their personalities as heroes.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Well, then we see the Nyla Rose Bunny. Now we see them in the ring for quite some time. They pick up the victory against Tay Conti and Hikaru Shida, but Bunny doesn't look bad at all. I mean, she looked all right. Okay, all right. But
her job in this match was not to look like a great wrestler, though.
No, yeah, you're right. She doesn't. It was just more
kind of get heat.
Not that she's not. Not that she's not. She absolutely is. That just wasn't her place tonight.
Yeah, I agree. But overall, it was good. It's a good builder for Tay Conti. I love it. I've seen how it's incredible how this is getting built.
Chris, from an MMA perspective, what do you know about? Because they were both wearing judoka gis when they came to the ring, both Hikaru and Tay Conti.
What's the question?
I was thinking if because I guess I didn't know Hikaru Shida was also a judoka as well, like wearing the gi.
I don't know her her Dan or her ranking. I know for a fact that Tay Conti is black belt in judo. How do you spell Hikaru? Is it Hikari?
Yeah, Hikaru.
Hikaru.
So I can find out. I mean, but as far as Tay Conti goes, she's every bit as an efficient combat athlete in sports as it gets.
Those self-defense moves. I think the when you trip somebody just like this from the side and you put your leg behind them with a sweep, they call it like a side reaper. So, and that's like it's very simple, but it's like that's a judo move. Like,
right. Yeah, I don't see anything listed that says that Hikaru is ranked in any kind of sports or combat sports. Maybe I'm missing something, but we all know that Tay can throw down.
Yeah,
for
sure. Might be Aikido.
Blue belt in jiu-jitsu, black belt in judo. She's what 4 feet exactly. She can fuck my shit up for sure.
It might be Aikido because Aikido is like the martial art of swordsman without the sword.
Right. Yeah. Naturally.
Yeah. And then the main event. Of course, the Arcade Anarchy match. I know you're excited.
I love the graphic on the Tron. I was really appreciating whoever in all aspects of AEW, their production, their directing, and their graphics guy is just so good. It's so edgy and modern with that 80s vibe to it, which I love. They do the paint powder colors, the multiple paint. That's like the logo. They do like the arcade stuff. The Kenny Omega entrance is phenomenal. The Cody entrance is phenomenal. It's like they went back to 1989 and then took 1989 and put it in the future.
Like on retrified futuristic, basically.
It's like the movie Kung Fury.
There you go.
Okay. What year is this? It's 3002. That would explain the Velociraptors with lasers.
There you go.
If you've never seen that movie, go watch Kung Fury. It's only about 20 minutes, but it's everything I said within a movie.
And of course, the excitement about that match was 2 returns. One of them, woo-hoo! Somebody's, that's right. Bing.
That was I told you in the DMs last night that I cried 4 times during this episode of Dynamite.
Yeah, she deserves it.
The first time was I was very much overjoyed with how good that inner circle angle was. I was so blown away with how good it was. I'm like, this is good. I'm so happy. Like I was just literally just overwhelmed with emotion that I was watching these men bleed, and how good it was. I was like, okay. But then Chris Stanlander pops out of that claw machine, bro.
Pushes that glass out.
I didn't see it coming. There were no rumors about it. AEW is generally pretty good about keeping things under wraps.
Chris, welcome back.
And as soon as she popped out and punched the shit out of Penelope Ford and then hit that like Michinoku 2.0 driver, I was just like,
it looked like an Emerald Flosion too.
Yeah, it was an Emerald Flosion. You're absolutely right. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, Misawa.
She hooked the leg and was like the jackhammer driver.
Tribute to Misawa.
This is the best time to come back in the women's division. This was peak moment. The women's division is about to take off. She came back from a injury that you cannot rush. You can't just ice that thing and you're good to go in a couple of weeks. I thought it was Asuka at first. I was like, what? Because she had the Asuka hair with the face paint. I definitely was like, Kabuki? But yeah, man, I'm so excited that she's back in a division that's now popping. And then the third time I cried. I'm being honest with you guys. I'm looking right into the camera.
I know. That's love of they're great people.
Was the Trent return, which I did not see coming. There were no rumors about it. But him rolling up in Sue's van.
I love it.
It was so fantastic.
Again, the kiss on the cheek from Mom.
Yeah. Didn't see it coming. I thought he was going to be gone for a while. I thought it was going to be like 6 months, and it's only been like 2.5 at the most.
Kind of like, I guess it was supposed to be, what is it, pectoral?
Yeah, it was a pector.
It does take for like 6 months to heal.
You know, Chris, I might steal that idea from Best Friends. I might do that at a music show. I'll pull up in a minivan with my mom kissing me on the cheek before I get that Grammy.
You all the way to the ring, or
yeah. Before I like if I'm going to the Grammys, because first I wanted to do the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile to the Grammys, but you know, I think I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this instead. Maybe like the second year to the Grammys. Right. Like my mom pulling up was like, screw a limo.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm not a Trent fan at all. I love Best Friends as an angle. It's not like I have some strong emotional connection to Trent.
Roppongi Vice.
But it's the joy of someone returning. It's the joy of someone healing and coming back doing the thing that they love. I can't imagine what that's like to be put out of sport like this that's just constantly growing, and you just have to sit at home and watch it. That's got to be, I mean, obviously such a buzzkill.
Maybe Rocky Romero should come out of nowhere. That would be, you know, like he would. I'd actually really welcome that idea. Remember, all the doors are open. Anyone,
all four of them.
All four of them.
Well, yeah. But Matt, what were your thoughts about that main event?
My God, especially, you know, I think one of the things, like if they had virtual on, that's my favorite arcade game. Like I want that in my house because it's like you're controlling a Gundam. If they had it there, that'd be cool. If they destroyed it, I'd cry for a different reason, Chris. I'd be crying. I'd be crying hard. I'd be crying harder than you, but like being really upset, and I'd be going down to Jacksonville like screaming at Tony Khan for destroying a rare. It's like, how could you destroy Virtual On? My God, you need to fix that and buy like 20 of them. You know.
But I wanted to go ahead and add a note to that match. Something that I don't know if you guys noticed, that I kind of applauding Khan and whoever produced that match, is you're now making this motherfucker a strong heel. And it takes 3 motherfuckers to take him down, and that's Miro. They're making him look strong, and they made him, and I'm
not goofy.
No, and now this time he's gonna go all solo, probably turn on Skip.
Please,
and then just go solo and go for either the TNT title or go for somebody. But that's what I want to see in Mirror. That's the ruthless aggression that I want.
Put him in a violent match, for Christ's sake.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, I want Brian Cage and Mirror. Might as well fuck it. Book it.
There
we go.
Yeah. That's the best. Actually, right, that's the best one.
That's the money match. That's the angle. I've said oftentimes that this angle had lasted a little too long.
Yeah.
Obviously, they did not foresee Trent getting injured in the beginning of it. Mm-hmm. Maybe they dragged it on with the foresight of him returning in this wonderful come from behind. The good guys take the whole shebang in the main event, which is exactly what happened. If they didn't plan it to go this way, it was timed wonderfully coincidental. None of these guys are champions right now. None of these guys have ever main evented a pay-per-view right now in AEW. And they main evented Dynamite. And it was a great match. It was paced well enough to not drag. It was long enough to be entertaining. It told a lot of stories. It ended with the good guys on top. The fourth time I cried was that beautiful wide shot camera angle of the thumbs up from the ring. They panned back to Sue at the waiting parking spot. She thumbed up back. The camera panned right back. And then you had the got to give the people what they want. And they brought Stamp in on it.
Yeah, it's a bit. That's the new stable. That's a really good baby face.
I don't know for sure.
I love it.
Going to be in that group.
She
I
should
know
be.
that she's going to go after Penelope because that storyline had not yet resolved from whenever Statlander had first been injured. But I'm going to say this again. It's a throwback to 80s era, like Karate Kid or
Cobra Kai.
Or Snowboard Mountain or War Games.
War Games.
No, what?
Yeah.
War Games. No, what's their new theme song?
The good guys coming out on top, trumping the bullies, cut the credits, play the 80s music, but that has to be the end of this angle.
What's the theme song they use? Because I thought it was Weezer, but was it like Jane's Addiction?
It's the Pixies, and it's for Orange Cassidy, and it's Where Is My Mind, written by Black Francis from like 1987.
There you go.
You may recognize it as the ending credits theme song to Fight Club. You met me at a very interesting time in my life. That's where most people know it from, but I read an article a week ago where Khan shelled out, basically gave a blank check to Pixies and said how much for that song, and they made it happen.
Nice.
Yeah.
See, these are one of the many things AEW does right instead of freaking stock music on the network, like with the Undertaker
the really
and
shitty rip-off of Smells Like Teen Spirit that DDP came out with for 6 years.
So flat. Oh my god. Oh my.
But it ended on such a triumphant good. The dorky picked on kids. This was Revenge of the Nerds.
Yes.
The dorky dorks. I'm sorry, I'm a dork. Also, I get it. I've been there. I've never had my Miro moment where I've trumped the bully. They did it. It was masterful, but it has to be the end of that angle. Miro goes solo. I like the Brian Cage thing. That's got two big men, similar in size, similar in style. If Statlander's in the group, that's cool. I
kind of hope more baby faces join this faction. This would actually be really good.
I hope it stays at. The three. It's Trent. Orange Cassidy was
Rocky Romero.
Orange Cassidy was an afterthought. He wasn't an original best friend. It was just Trent and Chuck. It wasn't until like almost 6 months into the company that Orange was added, and that was only because they came out and helped him in like Death Triangle or something.
Well, in the Indies, Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor are a tag team. It's something Country Gentlemen or something like that. Okay. So they were like friends from the Indies.
Yeah, I think this is from the Shikara days for Orange because he was in Shikara at the time.
Yeah,
but he wasn't. I think that was when he was barely developing the character of Orange Cassidy.
When he had that match, he had a match with Thunder Rosa.
Orange Cassidy?
Pretty sure. Or am I thinking of Sammy Guevara?
Probably Sammy Guevara. Maybe.
Orange did have an intergender match though, but it was like obviously with his gimmick, he didn't like.
Yeah, he's the best for intergender matches. Orange Cassidy.
He doesn't have to hit you. He just ducks and dives and dodges and ducks and dodges.
Goes to sleep,
Fantastic ending. It was like the ending of a great movie. It was so cinematic. I've never really wanted to rewatch a Dynamite. I don't rewatch any like network television. I don't rewatch Raws. I'll watch highlights. I would totally rewatch this Dynamite. This would be the Dynamite that you could show someone who's never watched pro wrestling and be like, that's what's up.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Well, yeah, we can't wait until next week for AEWs especially. Now, let's go ahead and touch very briefly because now that I have Matt here, and I'm curious, and you see it too, Chris. I wanted to get your. So the revelation of the New Japan New World Heavyweight Championship was revealed. A lot of people don't like it. New Japan gave their explanation of why they kind of did that. More of a going back to like the past in a way and the future. With the wings taking flight, meaning that the wings on the belt is more like towards the future of the new era for New Japan. So I'm gonna go with Matt right quick because I've been dying to ask you what are your thoughts about that belt.
Here's the dichotomy. So this is also a good showing. This is one of the most it's like the pulling back the curtain and the nudity between American culture and Japanese culture. You get to all the New Japan supporters, New Japan fans in Japan. They love the belt. New Japan fans overseas, namely America and England and Canada, hate the belt. So it's a very difference in culture because like we value individuality in the U.S. That's why everybody's got their opinions on it over in Japan. It's like, we need to care for this company. We need to support them any way we can. This is Japan's company. We gotta, we gotta trust in them. So my individual opinion on the belt, it's the perfect fit for Kota Ibushi. It might not fit with other guys on the belt with different gimmicks. It's not like, like with the Winged Eagle belt, like, I was able to see like why that works with both Stone Cold and Hulk Hogan. That's like a good like general, whatever. But with that belt, it's very, like the corners are like more rounded, so it looks more like feminine, and I guess more like Sailor Moon's jewelry and stuff like that.
A lot of people say it looks like a Divas belt. That's what they
like a Divas belt, yeah. So Kota Ibushi. Yeah. Kota Ibushi, he has some like beauty, flamboyance, color, like all that stuff. He's beautiful, so that it works with his, it works with his gimmick. Not so much Kenta, not so much Minoru Suzuki. So you think of something more fierce with them, but then again, that fierce belt won't work with the guys with more lighter gimmicks. So that's why a Regal design with like a crown, like the All Japan belt, which is still my favorite one, is the best. Yeah. There's one thing when it comes to belt designs, that because I actually designed my own belt. I'm not going to put up a picture, but for French speakers, I know you guys, or I don't know, Chris, Ivan, do you guys speak any French or know any words?
Ivan.
So I'm gonna get this picture. So the Fleur de Lis, I think some more belts should actually utilize the Fleur de Lis, because like I'm actually starting to think I'm developing a passion for belt design.
That's the George St. Pierre has that. That's the Saints Trident.
Yeah, the Saints Trident, the Fleur de Lis. And then before the Fleur de Lis was the symbol of the French royal family, it was the golden bees of the Merovingians from like the old, like, French history lesson. We're educational here at Circle of Debate. So we got a little bit of culture. We're not going like, belt is gay. No. We're not middle schoolers. Nah. It's called, this is the Fleur de Lis.
Yeah. Yeah, GSP had that, right?
Yeah, that's tattooed on his ankle.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, his
lower calf.
Yeah. This would be more belts should utilize it, because it's such a regal and king-like symbol, other than just a crown and wings.
Yeah.
You have to think about the jewels on a king's crown, and I think the only thing is if you put a cross, then the non-Christian wrestlers and Muslim wrestlers, Buddhist wrestlers, and things like that. But the Fleur de Lis, this would be like, more titles should use this symbol, and I think that would be kind of cool. Like I drew a belt with 4 Fleur de Lises on it with a crown and a globe, and I think that would be an awesome belt, and it would be like big. And the main thing I like best about the new belt is that it's big.
Trademark it right now. Why are you saying it?
You can't trademark. You can't trademark. This is a national symbol of a country.
No, so like how you want to have it, how you want to have it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll show you guys the drawing when I scan it, though. But the main thing, belts have to be big, because if they're the top championship belt, they got to be a big belt. And I think before the U.S. Heavyweight Championship for IWGP New Japan is just almost as big as the World Championship, or as big, because it's
as
a big belt.
As big.
That main plate has to be bigger than all the other belts. That's why I was disappointed when WWE did away with the undisputed title. So,
Director, how do you feel about that New Japan belt?
It's very symbolic of the direction. I mean, with the 4 doors open that we're talking about, where there's a lot of champions and talent revolving from each of the major promotions, I think it's sort of obviously symbolizes this second wave of Japanese promotions that's hopefully going to take off with now American eyes on it. I don't want to get too like esoteric about it. I just think that's exactly what it is. It's time for not necessarily a rebrand, but an update to something without really changing it too much. Just an improved version of something with a little bit more symbolism in it.
Yeah. I mean, in the beginning, I didn't like it myself, but then when I got a better understanding of the tradition of it, more detail, of the diamonds on it, you know, like the red and the white and the green, what is the symbolic of it, the crown, the symbolic. Okay, now it makes sense. It tells a story. It tells a story. So now it makes sense. It's kind of like, this is not really the first time in New Japan ever done this. I think this was back, I don't know who was the last one to have a belt, something like similar to this. I think, Jesus.
You know what?
You know what I'm talking about, right? You know
I want to tell you guys, I want to tell you guys real quickly what I actually hate the most about the belt is I hate that there's no nameplates for all the previous champions.
But they explain why. And then I'm like, okay, it makes sense. But yeah, I'm with you on that too.
I mean, Koda's name should be there, so it's like, you know, it's like not like a cemetery, but like a like a listing of names, so you know who you are in the company with. I mean, you know, like imagine if the NWA belt had that on it. All the names on, like, so it would be a really long and big belt.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Just imagine, but like, and you know, it like if you win it more than once, your name wouldn't be like on it twice. Just like if you win it once, your name would be on it.
I think the way how I would do it, I would probably encrypt the names on the main plate, encrypt it like around the world, like in a road ship, encrypt like at least like, so the winners, the legendary winners that held that prestige title. And then have obviously the current one in the bottom. I mean,
maybe they could do an angle where they like there's somebody does something so heinous that like a heel or a babyface tries to have their name removed from the belt or something like that, you know. So more like they could just do that in kayfabe, where it's like, yeah, my name's going back on that belt, and then the stipulation of the match is my name puts on the belt or off the belt, and blah blah blah. Yeah. You know, they could like rather than winning the title, it could just be about like different principles about it.
Yeah.
But, I just found this belt. This is like just more ideas. I could see like their faces on it and flags, and it almost looks like an inscription and like memorial on buildings.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Hey, you guys remember all that water I've been drinking this whole time? Well, I gotta go put it back in the toilet.
Aw.
You gotta hurry.
The people at Circle of Debate, just letting you guys know, we're very health positive, health conscious. As men get older, things happen with our bodies.
Definitely, so, especially the one right here who got vaccine 24 hours ago. But yeah, but also don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, this Sunday, April 4th, is New Japan Sakura Genesis.
Sakura Genesis.
The main event is Kota Ibushi versus Will Ospreay for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. So I'm looking forward to seeing that match. It's a rivalry that they had from
Wrestle Kingdom for the never open weight title.
Mm-hmm. And then also you will see the new member of the Empire. So I'm looking forward to seeing who's going to be this new member of the Empire. You know,
Robbie Eagles.
Robbie Eagle, maybe.
It's too obvious though. I don't want it to be
Chris Dickinson. Maybe it could be JR Kratos. I hope it is JR Kratos. It'll be dope. Could be probably from people from the U.S. New Japan Strong Style.
I think the ultimate curveball would be Zack Sabre Jr. despite the rivalry.
But that means that Zack Sabre will leave Suzuki Gun, and he'll go.
Yeah, and he would be more. Because I guess you're going from heel to heel, but I guess it's like a British thing, you know.
Well, no, because you have the islands, you have the British, you have the Japanese, and then you have someone else. You need an American, so that would make more sense. Exactly.
Yeah, an American actually would
fit more in that faction.
I actually met a girl who's Filipino and she's from Guam, the same island that Jeff Cobb is from. So I was asking her if she knew Jeff Cobb, and she told me actually there's a lot of wrestlers that live on Guam. So
definitely. Now before NXT ends, just to update the cards, everything else. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to announce the winner of the 2 free tickets for Championship Wrestling from
Memphis. My God, it's time now, guys. Everybody listen closely. Put your ears up to your phones.
Now, let's pay attention to the wheel.
Guys, the suspense is killing me.
I want to shout out everybody who actually did enter on this. You guys, all you had to do was go to the Championship Wrestling of Memphis YouTube channel. where we put out the promo video and leave the hashtag CW30 in the comment section below. We had tons of entries. We put them all on the wheel, and I'm excited to see who gets some tickets.
All right, let's see. Here we go. All right. Let's see who wins the 2 free tickets. Oh, baby Bubba!
Baby
That's actually
Bubba.
me. I started a new account so I could be eligible. So,
Baby Bubba, congratulations.
Congratulations, baby Bubba.
I will DM you shortly so you can get your tickets. Congratulations.
Awesome, man.
Was it, guys, were you on the edge of your seats for that one? My God.
I was.
There was a 1 in 7 shot right there. It could have been anybody. The wheel, it just turns and turns.
Thank you to everybody who entered, though. There will be a next time. You know, don't get mad and say this is rigged. Oh my God! Like, I've been there in competitions. Like, I remember when my band didn't get picked for Battle of the Bands. I know how that feels. So Ivan, will there be future contests like
there will be future contests. Do not forget.
Stay tuned.
Better luck
We will have future contests.
That's right. There'll be future, incredible giveaways that we'll be having. So stay tuned when we will announce them. It might happen maybe next and maybe in the next couple of weeks we might have another event.
WrestleMania tickets.
Yeah, right. We can't even go. Oh my God, no! It could be for another event as well, but I'm not gonna mention the name. Ooh, no name. Maybe later on. Ooh. Okay. Just to update you guys very quickly, this is the Go Home Away show. We will be back next Thursday or Friday. We're just keep an eye on our social media platforms. We're trying to figure things out since it's Mania week and a lot of scheduling, so a lot of coverage as well. But for a fact, we need to come back next week and cover the AEW recap of next week's Dynamite. So I just want to go ahead and touch this last topic very briefly before we let everyone go. Is the updated cards for NXT Takeover Night 1 and for Night 2. So now we got Pete Dunne versus Kushida, which that match gives me exciting to see. I want to see that one. Oh my God, Pete Dunne and Kushida, fucking dream match we wanted to see. And obviously they updated the Eliminator Gauntlet for the number 1 contendership for the North American title at NXT. So you have Leon Ruff, Isaiah Scott, Bronson Reed, Cameron Grimes, Dexter Lumis. Yeah, Cameron Grimes. And the last one is L.A. Knight. Let me talk to you, baby.
Let me talk to you.
He'll be the last one coming out of the Eliminator. So it looks like it might be him versus Johnny Gargano Night 2.
I'm pretty excited for that match. That's the NXT match I'm just itching for. My God.
And then Night 2, you did have, Ember Moon Shotzi will be defending the NXT Women's Tag Team titles against Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell Night 2 and take over Stand and Deliver. And that this past week at NXT, we did see one vignette that everybody's excited, and I'm excited too. Oh, we saw a little dog running around all over NXT. And she's coming on April 13th. We already know who it is. Taya Valkyrie. Now the biggest question is, will she keep that name, or what name will she go by? So I'm pretty sure.
It's a good name. It's powerful, but Vince doesn't like it when the good ideas aren't his. So.
That's right, power. Yes. And then also don't forget to watch tonight's SmackDown, ladies and gentlemen. They put 2 matches that were supposed to be for Mania, I believe so. So I guess it'll be happening, which is the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. They're gonna have it, and also they're gonna have a 4-way elimination match, I believe so, or just a 4-way for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Ziggler and Rude defending it against the Mysterios, Otis and Gable, and the Street Profits. So I don't know, not ready to impress, but I guess. But what I'm impressed more is Pete Dunne and Kushida. That's the one.
Pete Dunne and anybody, man. You can put Pete Dunne in there with a plastic bag, and that's match of the night.
Who would you get with that one? Very briefly, who would you get?
Who's gonna win that match? Or?
Yeah, Kushida and Pete Dunne. Who would you get?
Oh man,
tough one. Huh?
I can see Kushida winning this as an upset.
Oh, I like that. What about you, Matt?
I can see that, like, he has more to gain from a win, and Pete Dunne losing isn't really going to do much damage to his, already stellar reputation as the longest reigning heavyweight champion in the history of the business.
I'm going for Kushida.
Oh my God. I think I see this as a trilogy match. So I think whoever takes this one, I have to go with Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne will take the first one. This is gonna be a trilogy for sure. Nothing is over. Nothing is over. Nothing is over. Right?
Nothing.
But yes,
Rambo.
But yes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in for episode 48 here at Circle Debate. And once again, congratulations to Baby Bubba winning those 2 tickets. As you gotta go,
congrats.
You're gonna be making history being there live as Championship Wrestling from Memphis will be crowning the first ever World Heritage Champion. But also stay tuned, we'll be having more giveaways to enter. So keep an eye out on our weekly episode. We will announce it very soon. And also don't forget to as well to tune in on our social media platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, any other social audio platforms you can find us as well. And next week we will be back, so just keep an eye on our announcements. So we are going to come back next week to go ahead and discuss for AEW, because I want to know if the Young Bucks are going to turn heel on this one. So that's what the one that I'm looking forward to, because that's when Chris and I and Mike will be like, we told each other so. So that's what we're looking forward to. So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you for tuning in. Do not forget also this Sunday, our top 5 of picks of the week, which for week 48, it is our top 5 best WrestleMania matches. So, not pay-per-views, out of all the matches that you were favorite at WrestleMania. So make sure you tune in for that this Sunday for those top 5. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, it's the Devious One Ivan C here with the catalyst of all catalysts. He is, I don't know what it is.
Liquid Band-Aid.
The liquid Band-Aid. The foam maker. The glasses breaker.
The Faja.
And the one that wears a back brace, breaking his ass, just for you guys. And that is Mr. MGC Matthew Steamboat. And of course, the other one and only that likes to direct you to making sure that you look so good.
So good.
Because, what is a word? See, this is where I'm having a brain for. What does Buff Bagwell say?
Buff is the stuff.
And
that's one of them.
Just can't get it.
There it is.
Send you guys good day, and we will see you guys on Sunday.